Now to an inspiring documentary that takes determination to new heights. Looking Up follows a young man who was diagnosed with a rare disease that led to him losing 95% of his vision. But then he set a very lofty goal for himself: to climb Yosemite's El Capitan mountain. The film documents his journey from navigating life with a new disability to making it to the top of the summit. Joining me now, the brave rock climber Eitan Armon and filmmaker Elena Neuman, the director of the documentary Looking Up. Thank you both so much for being here today. Eitan, let me start with you. Take us back to this rare diagnosis you learned when you were, what, 21, that you were going to start losing your vision. And then how did that all unfold?
When I was in the military, I started having some very weird eyesight symptoms, and I went to the doctor to actually just get a pair of glasses, and we ran a bunch of tests. The doctor walked into the room, looked down at the results without looking at me, said, "So it looks like you are going blind and there's nothing we can do to help."
Wow.
I was shocked. I kind of shuffled my way out to my car because at the time I was driving. I drove myself to the appointment and I just started to cry over what I was losing, a sense of identity, but also just thinking about how am I going to be a professional? How am I going to be a husband? How am I going to be a father? It definitely took some time for some transition period. It was really difficult, but at some point I took a step back and said, what were the values that were important to me, and how can I find new ways of expressing things like contributing to something bigger than myself, challenging myself, being around good people, and doing fun things. And I think that's what led us to this project and this climb.
And that's what led you to decide this was going to be the mission. Elena, how did you hear about his story, and then obviously what made you decide, hey, we want to document this process?
I met Eitan when he was in college. He was a friend of my daughter who was in college with him. And he approached me to do a small video. I did shorts at the time for a medical trial he was in. Wow. And it was COVID. And when we couldn't get into the hospital because of COVID restrictions, and at the same time around then, he met Jay, his climbing partner, and he got really excited about the idea of taking on a new skill, a new challenge. And he was like, what do you think about doing something bigger? I was like, hell yes, I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in.
Locked in. I love that. Tell us about the challenges. On a good day, it's difficult to climb El Capitan for someone who has all of their senses working at 100%. For you, the added challenge of not having your vision, how did you get through it?
I actually think in some ways it was easier not being able to see. It's harder to be afraid when you can't really see how far you can fall.
Wow.
But really, we came up with a bunch of different kinds of systems that helped us do this in a safe way. Things like putting textured tape around different pieces of gear that I would need to handle myself to know, I don't have to look for something, but I can just feel for it. And just kind of like in my day-to-day, it was all about thinking, is this something that I can do in a safe way? And how can we find a way around some of the limitations?
The video is incredible as we're seeing some of the clips from the film. What are you hoping to inspire people with, and by putting out your own story?
I think there's a scene in the film that speaks to this pretty well, when we were on a portaledge and a question was posed to me, what would you tell someone else who is going through what you've been through? And I think this kind of speaks more broadly as well, of take some time to let this difficult thing be difficult, and then focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot.
I love that so much. Elena, you made this film. You must be so proud. Now it's out there in the world. What are you hoping viewers take from it?
I think this is a universal story. I think everybody faces challenges. Not all of them are as devastating as losing one's eyesight, and not all of them are as visible to the world as using a white cane. But we all have challenges, and life throws curveballs. And this is a film about how you respond, how you pivot, how you show resilience, how you live your best life, even with limitations. And so I hope that audiences will take that and apply it to whatever it is that they're facing and say, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
Elena Neuman, Eitan Armon. The film is called Looking Up. Thank you so much to both of you, and this film is available to watch now on Prime Video.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.